Hi, guys. We're back, and I'm Shannon with Captivating Compass and Homeschool Travel Learn. And we have Dashelle here. She is with, tell us who you're with because sometimes I get it wrong, Dashelle.
That's okay. I'm with Literary. Whoa, I can't even get it right today. This is what you get when you have a
Literary.
big literary name. Literary Adventures for Kids.
Literary Adventures for Kids. Yes. And you also have Hide the Chocolate. And that's why sometimes I go to one place and then I hop over to the other and I start back and you have two great sites. And so today, first, thank you for coming and
Oh, thank you for inviting
sharing
me.
your literary adventures with kids with us. So tell us a little bit about you and then we tell us about what you have in the Build Your Bundle sale this year.
Okay, so I do have a site called hidethechocolate.com, which is where I talk about homeschooling and I share our relaxed Charlotte Mason way of life there. But I also create online book clubs, poetry tea times, and just general literature unit studies
Okay.
at literaryaventuresforkids.com. And we have those from ages basically preschool to high school, so any age in
Right.
there.
That's great. Yeah, my daughter, we bought one that you had in the sale last year, and it was really good. Yeah, and I have them. You have some in there that work really well as things to use. Like if you're thinking of going to London at some point or Europe, or
Exactly.
you've got stories that kind of slide in for things to do along the way. So,
We do.
but you've started something a little bit new. So tell us about that, and that's what's in the bundle. So I want to hear all
Yeah.
about what you have going on now.
Okay, so what I've discovered is we have probably around 50 to 60 online book clubs at this point, either completed or in the works. And we even have more things when it comes to poetry tea time and poetry
Yeah, there's a
courses.
lot over there.
So we have a lot of courses, and what we were discovering with people is, I had a lot of people buying everything I had. And they were saying, well, it'd be great if we had this, great if we had that. And I thought, okay, well, what if we did a membership? So it just started off where you could join for a monthly rate or a yearly rate, and you could get all the book clubs you wanted. And then you could just pick whichever one you wanted to do
Yeah,
that month. And then we decided to take that a little bit further because some moms were asking for different things like workshops and maybe just some more hand holding during the book club. So what we did is we created this new membership where we have quarterly workshops. We have monthly book clubs that we walk through every single part of the book club. So at any point, mom can look at there and go, this is what we're doing today, and this is what I need to prepare for tomorrow. But generally our book clubs are straightforward, they're open and shut kind of thing. You open it up, I give you all the materials you might need, and you can
okay.
choose, if you want to
Yeah,
be hands-on and dig in and do an experiment or something, you can do that. You want to skip, that's fine. That's up to you. But we give you all the resources there. So we're just walking you through all the parts of the book club. And the
okay.
whole point of this book club is to try to help inspire children to want to read. We found that the traditional ways of teaching kids how to do literature don't always work because it's a lot of, well, you read this and then we'll write an essay on it, or you write a book report about it, and we'll give you this prize if you read so many books.
Yeah,
And that actually takes away the love of reading because
yeah,
then it's reading for a specific target, a
yeah,
specific reward, or it's considered, just school will check it off.
yeah.
So we found to inspire them to want to read, because the goal is not to educate just your children through K-12. It's
Right.
to educate them for life. And
Lifelong learners. Yes.
yes. And so we wanted to kind of get them to where they wanted to love to read. They enjoyed reading. And to do that, we added fun experiments and fun little adventures and just rabbit trails, we call them, into the books to make the book more meaningful. How many times have you sat and you're reading a book and they mention something like, I was reading one recently, medieval Scotland. Huh? So, and I'm like, okay, what is that? So I have to go on a little rabbit trail myself to figure out,
Yeah.
what are they talking about there? Because that's not something we do now or say now. So I have to
Right.
go and look that up. But that's what we do with rabbit trails, is help the kids to kind of move in that direction where they're understanding what they're reading instead of just
Right.
reading it for that
So you
specific
create
person.
pauses in the reading to not just read 20 pages each day and get done with the book, but to say, okay, read 10 pages or whatever,
Hmm.
and and then step through whether you're discussing it or you're doing a hands-on thing like a nature study if you're reading a Beatrix Potter or
Right.
maybe Secret Garden or something like that.
Mhm.
Am I right in that that's how those are kind of put together?
That is absolutely correct. We
Okay.
actually have three different levels. We have
Okay.
for what I would call an elementary book club, and that's with a really short book, which might be what in a minute I'll step through one with the
Okay.
Tale of Peter Rabbit. And then we have what I call our family novels. Those can go elementary through middle school. And like you probably purchased Mary Poppins in the last bundle. I think that's
Yes,
what was in
that's
there.
what I did. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be one of our mid-level books,
Right.
and those are a month long, and they
Okay.
have sections that you read. There are 8 sections in there, and you would have your grammar and spelling in there too, and then
Okay.
your fun rabbit trails, a writing project at the end, and then we have our high school, which is a little bit different because we, realize that in high school we have to have credits to graduate.
Yeah, gets a little bit more rigorous for
Yeah.
all of us.
And we have to have generally a certain set of hours for those kids to count as
Okay.
credits. So
Okay.
what we did is we just made them a little more in depth and gave them more writing assignments of more of them thinking. So we're trying to
Right.
get them to be critical thinkers here
Good.
and to
Yeah, that's
think
great.
about why did this author say this way? Why
Yeah.
didn't he do it this direction? And most of these books are classic books. Well, actually
Okay.
all of them are.
Okay.
So when we go to the classic books, then we're looking at things through different eras. Like I just, recently we taught To Kill a Mockingbird. So that's a
Okay.
specific era in time with racial injustice. And so he's talking about that little capsule, but we can see it moved through to 2021 and we can
Yeah.
still see evidence of those things today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just try to have them to think more critically in those books.
Right. Well, cool. Well, let's take a walk through what
All
you
right.
have to show us. Okay. So I'm going to switch that on, hopefully, here. There we go. There we
Okay.
are.
All right. So if you become a member of Literary Adventures for Kids, this is the elementary and middle school membership. We will have a high school one that's going to be launching this summer, late summer. But for right now, we just launched the elementary. So you would come to this and you would just welcome to the membership. You'd click on that and it would go through your course. These are different things like we're going to talk about. We have support section. You could click on that and go to the support. Here's the quarterly workshops that we're going to be doing and the monthly book clubs. So let's just quickly jump down to, and we'll have some members only bonuses that are things you can download. But let's just jump down to like a workshop. So here's a workshop that was done in April where I was talking about how to add enchantment to your homeschool through literature. So I talk a lot about little things, just to add like poetry tea times and book clubs. And there was also a download of our enchantment planner, which you can also get
Right.
that just at my hithechocolate.com. You can get that for free and you can kind of see some of the ideas. So that's what we were talking about in a workshop. The next workshop next month, no, sorry, 2 months, it's May. Is our July workshop. It's going to be how to incorporate book clubs into your homeschool. So talking about how you can start a book club in your community.
Oh,
I know right
fun.
now it's a little bit difficult with the
Well,
social
Zoom book
distancing.
clubs, right?
Yeah. So we're doing a lot of Zoom things,
Yeah.
but hopefully in the future we'll be able to see people in person again.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So I have this all unpublished right now so you can look at it, but this will be starting in June and it will
Okay.
be the Tale of Peter Rabbit.
Okay.
So this is a very typical nature book club. And what we do is we would go through, and I'm just going to tell you to click over to that, tell Peter Rabbit, so you could go through the course. But what they would do is, if we look at week 1, we would be reading this book, and then I would be telling them, okay, these are the sections that you want to go to and do today. So they want to look at vocabulary, they want to pick a favorite passage. And then on day 2, we're going to do copy work. And I have that where you can click down, and it'll take you to this copy work section that we tell you how to use copy work and dictation. But then we have the copy work. And then if you'll notice, we have some different things about, okay, talk to your kids about capitalization of proper nouns,
Right. Okay.
talk about the M dash, which is used, talk about various different things like that. And then there, at the end of the week, we have a dictation, which if your kids are older, they can just dictate straight. But if your kids are younger, they might want to just use this one with blanks in it that gives them a little bit of help.
Okay.
But that would be like week 1, we're walking through the copy work. And then it goes to, well, you need to do this rabbit trail or that rabbit trail, gather these supplies. On day 4, they're going to do a magic dust, which is always a hands-on exploration. In this case,
Okay.
it's an art project.
Okay.
So they're going to be drawing a
Fun.
bunny. And then on day 5 is where we always go in a nature book club and go on an outdoor adventure. So we grab our nature journals, which you get those free in the membership, and you go outside and look for whatever that specific topic was. So this
Cool.
specific topic was to look for rabbits or other young
Sure.
animals. So
Fun.
yeah, and so we just do that. We're going to do that for, you'll notice, all 4 weeks, and walk through the parents how to go through that nature book
Okay.
club. And then next month we will be starting a middle school family one, which elementary and middle school, and that will be Dr. Doolittle. And so we're just going to flip flop those back and forth, and
Right.
occasionally throw in a poetry tea time.
Oh, fun. Those sound so great. So that whole thing, membership, I should use the right word here. The whole membership is on Build Your Bundle, and it's 50% off the retail price. So what is the price on Build Your Bundle again?
Okay, so what we're doing, and Shannon, you'll have to give them the 2 different links of your links, but
Okay.
I'll explain this a little clearer because my people are asking me all sorts of questions about it. So with Build Your Bundle, they offer everything for half off. So it is a $125 regular yearly subscription.
Right.
And so they'll offer it for $62.50. I think that's how that works out.
Okay.
Do my math in
Okay.
my
So
head.
half price is
Right.
62.50 or something close to that.
And what I've been
Okay.
explaining to my readers and followers is that is the price of Build Your Bundle, which is a fabulous price.
Yes.
But next year it would renew at the $125. So I don't want everybody to be confused and think you're going to get it for
Right.
$62.50
Okay.
every year.
That's good to know. So it's 1 year subscription to the membership for half price.
Right.
Is
Now,
that it? Okay.
so what I was explaining is we're doing our founding members launch right now too. So the
Okay.
other way you can get in, and if Shannon, if you don't mind throwing your link up there later on,
Okay.
um, is they can get in for $80 a year right now, or $8 a month, whichever one you want to choose. But that is a forever lifetime grandfathered in
Oh,
price.
okay. That's
So
good to know.
yeah, it's good to know. You can get a really good deal through Build Your Bundle, which I totally say grab that deal.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
you might want to go with the founding members if you think you're going to use it for longer than
definitely.
1 year, then you would actually save more money or
Yeah. And
in
if
the long
you're
run.
like me and you've bought your products in the past, whether it Build Your Bundle or other places, then you'll see the value in doing the founding members with this. And if you just want to try it for the year, or it's just going to be for the one time right now, then that's a good option too. Or if you have one kid that is only going to fit this section for this next
Right.
year, then that's a great way to do it too and still save a lot of money. So
Exactly.
you have videos in there where you're doing the teaching. So you're both teaching the kids and you're there kind of equipping the parents to teach alongside. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what we're doing in the membership. Let me click
Okay.
back to this. So
Yeah.
when you start here, and I hope this works, but I guess I
Fingers
didn't type
crossed.
before. Okay. Are you with me on a different page now?
Yes.
Okay.
We're into it.
All right. So this is what you're seeing when you go to one of our courses,
Okay.
and you're going to see just some general information like supplies you need, things up here. But then you'll start really right here, which is read the passage. Write down any vocabulary words that they may not know, so you can look those up. And then you'll go to our first rabbit trail. And rabbit trails are going to have things like videos in them
Okay.
that the kids can watch. They'll also have a mixture of articles to read. And this one specifically about rabbits. The next one actually talks about Bugs Bunny because there's a difference
Fun.
between a rabbit and a hare and which one is Bugs
Yes.
Bunny. So it's throwing in a little fun there.
Fun.
This next section about rabbits is talking about baby rabbits. So it gives
Okay.
information about little tiny baby rabbits.
So they're not just learning about the literature, they're really getting a theme approach to it with the emphasis being on the literature and the language arts and grammar, but not
Yes.
discounting a little bit of fun and a little bit of science, maybe a little bit of art, and the other pieces
Right.
to really kind of bring it together. And that's what's so great about the Charlotte Mason approach to learning and to homeschooling, that's it's part of just that. That's how the things are woven together, I guess is a good way to say it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole aspect of what Charlotte Mason teaches is a whole world learning. It's not we're just learning about science, we're just learning about math, but how does that work in the world we live in?
Right.
And you're reading a fun book like The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Well, it's about a rabbit. So what do we know about rabbits? So let's learn
Yeah.
about rabbits. Then we go into other things like we're going to learn about gardens later on because he's in a garden all the time.
Sure.
So in our nature journals, we focus on nature aspects. So whether it's
Right.
seeing plants or animals, or whatever. Other book clubs, we'd focus on different things, obviously. But in a
Sure.
nature one, we'll do that.
Great. So you also mentioned poetry tea time stuff.
Uh-huh.
And tell me, how does that weave into the membership here?
Okay, so you get access to all the poetry tea time courses as well. Those are
Okay.
really written for mom. They're giving you ideas on snacks, decorations, all sorts of things like that. And they give you poetry. They give you an activity each month you can do with your poetry tea time for the little guys and for the older kids. So we have already 12 of those, one for
Okay.
each month of the year. We
Okay.
are producing some new ones. Those are holiday, so they're around a holiday. The
Right.
new
Okay.
ones, yeah, the new ones are going to be about a specific poet.
Okay.
So we're in the
So
process of that one.
I apologize if I'm the only one confused and everybody else understands. That's
No
how I
problem.
hope this is, but I could be wrong. So, what I'm understanding is there's going to be lots of things to choose from in the membership, and we can, because I know you have lots of things on your site. So, there's lots
Right.
of things to choose from, and you can pick and choose, or is everybody doing the same thing together each month?
Well, we're letting you have the choice. We're
Okay.
going to go through the Tale of Peter Rabbit in June. You
Okay.
can do that, or you can pick one of the 30 other courses to do.
Okay.
Um,
Now it makes
it's
sense.
very, yeah, it's very likely like you have middle schoolers who don't want to do
They don't want to
the
maybe
Tale of
do
Peter
Peter
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
That's
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah. But although I have to say it's kind of fun
It's
book.
still fun. I was thinking the same thing. Like, I do Peter Rabbit again.
I love it. And actually, my middle schooler, she actually does the nature book clubs too. She just
Oh,
doesn't take a
fun.
month like we do with the
Yeah,
little
yeah,
kids. She does them
yeah,
usually in a week or so.
yeah. Fun.
But yeah, so you can pick any of the 30 options or over 30 options that you want to use. But we're going to
Great.
step through one each month to help guide you. And maybe
Right,
after the first time you've been guided through this, you don't need that membership, that part of the membership anymore, and that's fine. You
right,
can just go to whatever book club you want.
right. Okay. Well, that is a jam-packed membership for 62.50 or something close to
Yeah,
that, or founders lifetime price of, what did you say again? 80?
80 a year or 8
$80
a
a
month.
year. Yeah, $80 a year lifetime, because you're a founding member, you get that for ever. So
So yeah,
those
so these are the
are
two lowest
awesome.
prices ever. I will say this, we will never have them this low again because this is a launch
Yeah,
and you'll never get $8 a month, $80 a year, or 62.50 a year
yeah,
after this period because
exactly.
we're just starting out and we're growing with and we're going to ask the founding members, what do you like? What do you want to keep? What do you want to change?
Yeah,
And you get to be a part of that decision making process.
that's great. So that is awesome. Jen McKinnon is in the house and she says hi. She loves Peter Rabbit too, just like the rest of us. Hi, Jen. Um, and so, what are some of the other books you have kind of in line? We talked about there's Peter Rabbit, there's your
Hmm.
nature study books. We mentioned Mary Poppins. You mentioned To Kill a Mockingbird, but that's going to be in the high school one, right? So that's
Yes,
not in this membership. So what are
that
some of
will
the other
not be
books
this.
that are in this elementary and middle school membership? And they can
Okay.
go to your site then and look at
Mhm.
these too if they want to kind of dig deep into the different books. Is that right?
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
Literary Adventeres for Kids.com. If you go to all courses, you'll see the courses. Am I still sharing my
Yes.
screen? Okay.
Yep.
Like for example, and I don't know how Teachable does the sorting, but it just randomly sorts things. What you get first is Love That Dog, which is elementary middle school.
Okay.
The Birch Bark House, if you live in Canada, that's a great one because a lot of times it's in
Yeah.
required readings.
Okay.
Holes, which would be like an older middle school. but you can see there's many
There's all
different.
kinds of them there, isn't there?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
have, yeah, like I said, over 30 between the, and then we'll have
30.
some
Okay.
Christmas ones. We have Christmas ones there, two of them, Mr. Willoughby's and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But you can see there's just a ton of them. And then we have, like I said, the Poetry Tea Time. Now, the Poetry Tea
Right.
Time is a yearly, well, that's in the wrong course. This is all our courses, so you can see some of our high
Okay.
school
Yeah.
ones.
So you see all of them.
But here's some of the poetry tea times for the younger ones. We have a Valentine and a springtime that's already split out, but those are actually included in the main poetry tea time. So you'll have 12 months in there
Okay.
that you can gather from. So yeah, and here's some of the high school ones: To Kill a
Right.
Mockingbird, The Great
Okay.
Gatsby.
Right. And
Yep.
so they can look for those on your site later. So,
Mhm.
Dashelle, thank you so much. So, the sale is going on through the 18th. Your
Mhm.
product is in the premium products, and in the thread or in the comments, not in the comments, in the description part with the video here is all the information if people want to click over to build your bundle and look at it there. If they want to click over to your site, they can find that. And I would, if you will send me the link to the founding member information, I'll go ahead and drop that in when I'm finished here. I have Jenna Mayo in the house next, and
Ah,
she is like I think 5 minutes out. So I have to quickly say goodbye, but I want to have you back soon so we can talk a little bit more about this and tell people about the founding members thing and get them involved in that. So I will send you an email
all right.
or a
Sounds
text.
great.
So it was so nice to finally meet you. We've
I
actually been
know.
chatted so many times back and forth, and it's good to see you and to get to know you a little bit better. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you guys go over and check out Literary Adventures for Kids with Dashelle and look for her stuff on Build Your Bundle. And if you have questions about anything, if you were confused about the different aspects and the different things we talked about, then go ahead and leave your comments and your questions here or touch base with her on her website. You're on Facebook too with Literary Adventures for Kids, right?
Or Hide the Chocolate, either one. We reply to
Or
both
Hide
of
the
those.
Chocolate.
Mhm.
Okay. So we will catch you again later, Dashelle. Thank you so much and
Thank you.
have
I
a
appreciate
great
it.
day.
You
Okay.
too.
Bye.
Bye.